Hello everyone, welcome to the demo video for Oscar. As you can see, we have our user interface pulled up here, and we have the separate tabs for user analysis and subreddit analysis. We're going to go ahead and start with a user analysis. So we have the username already entered in here. It's Spax, and we'll click on the button over here to start that execution. It does take a minute to load, so while that's going on, I'm just going to show you some interesting things in the terminal from when we completed some HTTP requests to our Flask service. So we already have a bunch of tabs preloaded just so that we don't have to sit and wait for them to load for everything that we want to show in this video. So as you can see in the terminal, there are several requests that went out to go look at different subreddits and different usernames. And as you can see, a bunch of requests just went out to go get information about the user we're looking at now, Spax. So the analysis is complete, and now we can check out the information that we got. So the first pie chart we have here is the most popular words for this user. Going through the list, there's nothing that's too crazy, thread, posts, please. But one thing that's kind of interesting is the frequency of the word chili. That's kind of a weird word to have in your most frequently used words. But if we go down and look at his top subreddits, we notice that his top subreddit is Cincinnati, and he's posted on there almost 120 times, or a little over 120 times. So that kind of explains why chili might be in his most frequently used words. We also have up here his most popular links. He's not one to post many links. He's only linked to one website 2 times. So that kind of explains why down here in the karma section, he has very low link karma, but really high comment karma. So that means he's a frequent commenter, but not a frequent link poster. We also have a pie chart demonstrating the proportion of his posts that are controversial. So a controversial post is when the upvotes it gets are similar to the number of downvotes. So people can upvote something if they agree with it, downvote something if they disagree with it or find it to be offensive. So having a controversial post kind of means that people didn't like what you posted. He kind of has a high portion of controversial posts, about 40%. That's higher than most people might have. So sometimes you might consider that to be a bit of a red flag. In the lower right, we have the results of our Soxcatch algorithm. So as you can see, that comes out as 3 categories called delay percentile, action count, and relationship with closest neighbors. And when you hover over the header for each of these, you will come up with a tooltip that kind of explains what this is and what would make it a little bit abnormal or normal. So I'll hover over these, and if you're interested, you can pause the video and check out what each of these categories means. But as you can see, he's only abnormal in the action count and is normal in the other 2 categories, which wouldn't really make him a cause for concern. So now we'll go look at another user and see how they compare with this one. This is another user called Some Idiot Dude, and as you can see, his most popular words are very different than the last user we looked at. So a couple of the top ones aren't too interesting, but we can see that he uses the words album, music, and song a lot. So it seems that he posts a lot about music. This is also reflected in the links. Pitchfork is common, which is a frequently used music review site. Also IndieWire and Spotify. And as we can see down here in his karma, he is a very frequent link poster, not a very frequent commenter. So that makes sense as to why he has so many links in his most popular linked websites. When we look at his most popular subreddits, again, we're seeing a theme with music, with hip hop heads, music, and indie heads. And then he also posts on politics. So now we'll transition to looking at a subreddit. So we have preloaded here Nintendo Switch. Some of the most popular words all have to do with gaming and Nintendo, Animal Crossing, which just came out. Popular links also go along with just the Nintendo theme, Nintendo.com, NintendoEverything.com. and there aren't very many controversial posts on Nintendo Switch. It is important to note that for subreddits, the analysis on the posts is done on the most popular posts, so it's unlikely to have a very controversial post in the most popular posts on the subreddit. Here we have some subreddits that users of this subreddit frequently post on. So other gaming related ones like PC gaming and Xbox One, as opposed to other places like coronavirus. Kind of an interesting combination there. And at the bottom, we have this really awesome visualization that shows the graph connections between all these different subreddits. So we have the original subreddit here, Nintendo Switch, which is connected to everything. And then we also have that some of these subreddits are connected to each other by frequent posters. So coronavirus is also directly connected to Nintendo, and Xbox One is also directly connected to Nintendo. You can also zoom in and move around on this graph if you want a closer look to see what the popular things on here are. So now we'll go look at another subreddit. We have World News Up, which should have some pretty different results than Nintendo Switch. So for obvious reasons, the most popular words on there right now are coronavirus, COVID-19, masks, pandemic, and all of the popular links are news websites like BBC, Bloomberg, stuff like that. Once again, very few controversial posts, as these are based on the top posts, so you wouldn't expect it to be very controversial. And people also like to post on other news and politics related subreddits, as well as Ask Reddit and Xbox One. Once again, we can look at the graph down here to see other different relationships that might not show up in this bar graph. So we have world news and then a bunch of tangential ones that actually aren't directly related to world news. They're related through Ask Reddit, which is a very popular subreddit. So through Ask Reddit, world news is connected to the funny subreddit. And then politics and coronavirus are also related to one another. And once again, we can zoom and drag to get a closer look if we want to. So that's all that we wanted to demo today. Thank you for checking out the demo we have of Oscar, and we hope you already checked out our other video with a more in-depth explanation of the project.